Today we'll do the Haftorah for the portion, but before we do, I would just like to end with the last three commandments in our Torah reading, which deal with Amalek. Amalek, as you remember, Amalek is a nation. It's a nation of people, a race, a nation, a soul, an idea. I don't know exactly what it is, but in the end, it's going to be a certain nation. It's going to be a nation that has to be totally destroyed. It's a commandment to totally destroy it. We see that there are a lot of nations that would love to destroy the Jews, but I think we can especially, let's just center on the Nazis, right? The Nazis had this big thing. They killed a lot of people, the Nazis. They killed a lot of people. They made this World War II, and they killed, about 50 million people, just basically innocent people. But you can correct me if I'm wrong, but because I'm certainly not an expert, but the people that they killed, all these people, was not really for the sake of killing. Killing was sort of a means to conquer. They killed people in order to make everybody afraid and to surrender, which is not the case with the Jews. The Jews, they didn't care about the Jews surrendering. In fact, in Germany, for instance, the Jews were already pretty much surrendered. What they wanted was to kill the Jews. That's what they wanted. They wanted to kill the Jews. So that's Amalek. Amalek is a nation and that they're not interested in ruling. They're not interested in anything. They're willing even to give their own lives. It's self-sacrifice for evil, just like the Jewish people have self-sacrifice for God, for good, for doing what's right. Like that's what's built based on Abraham, that he had total self-sacrifice, didn't expect anything in return. So Amalek is a nation that also doesn't want anything in return. All it wants is just to destroy the Jews. That's what. And there are some theories that say that that was the main motivation of Hitler, because we see that at the end of the war, he sent, very essential troops and manpower and equipment in order to take the Jews out of Hungary and kill them. However it is, Amalek is a real a factor in the world, and is a commandment to wipe him out. And only the Mashiach is going to do it. Only the Mashiach will do it, but he will do it. So here we have, let's see, the commandment. Last commandment. Remember what Amalek did to you on the way. When you were going out of Egypt. As soon as the Jews got out of Egypt, it says everyone was afraid of him. And Vayavo Amalek came and attacked the Jews. And then they attacked the Jews again when they were going into Egypt. They disguised themselves as Canaani. After when Aaron died and the clouds of glory went away, it says they attacked again. And in Israel, they were always attacking. That was the big thing with King Saul, that he left one of them alive, Agag. He left them to live overnight, killed all the people. So it's a commandment to wipe them all out, but he wanted to bring the king back alive. It would be a big sign of victory. And in that one night, the king managed to get some lady pregnant. And that lady eventually came out to be Haman, the child came out. It's true, we got the holiday of Purim from it, but eventually that's because the Nazis came out, and these people who their goal in life is to kill the Jews. Nothing makes them feel more worthwhile. Remember, says Rashi, remember what Amalek did? Im shakarta, if you lied in midot the mishkalot, that's here. It says you shouldn't have two Evan Shlema, you have to have your weights and your scales in your house have to be accurate. It says if you didn't keep accurate weights and scales, if you're cheating people, then you should worry that the enemy is going to get you. Because the strength of the Jewish people is in their integrity and honesty. So if you have liars, then you better watch out. Like it says, like it says, crooked scales are the disgust of God. Because see, it says afterwards, and from purposeful sins will come shame, defeat. And here the Ramban, a very nice Ramban, and he says, you have to remember what Amalek did. It says in the Midrash, you should remember Zachor, what he said, and then it says, don't forget. In the end, it says, Lo tishkach. So there are really three commandments here. There's one is to remember, one is not to forget, and the other one is to wipe out Amalek, to wipe him out, to kill him. If you see him, and of course you can't decide yourself who is Amalek, only the Mashiach can decide. But when he does decide, so then it's a commandment to kill them all. So it says there's three commandments: to remember, not to forget. So the Ramban said, what is this thing of, it says in the Midrash that remembering means with your mouth, to speak, and not forgetting means in your heart. So he says, I don't understand exactly. He says he doesn't understand what it means. And he says, nearly, where is it? Anyway, he says, it seems to me that what it means is that you always have to remember what he did, and you always have to tell and speak to, especially your children, so people should not forget what happened. Like, for instance, he says there's another one of the commandments that says that we should have to remember what Miriam did. Miriam said sort of negative things. It could have been interpreted negative things against Moses, and because of that, she got stricken with the disease. And so it says so it says we should remember Miriam, that even though you're never supposed to speak bad about the tzaddikim, and she was certainly a tzaddik, but in order to learn not to speak disparaging words, as therefore it's permissible to relate the story, which is to the detriment, which is to the negative story about Miriam, even though you're not supposed to do that, but because there's a value in it, so you can't. So it's the same thing with Amalek. We must always remember that there's a nation that wants to kill us and destroy us because we're Jews. That'll always remind us. If nothing else reminds us we're Jews, is he'll remind us that we're Jews. What did Amalek do? You have to remember, Asher korcha b'derech, that he cut you off on the way. And he attacked all of the weak people that were sort of stragglers when the Jews were traveling in the desert. And you were tired and worn out. And he had no fear of God. Amalek was not afraid of God to attack the Jews. It says the whole world was afraid of God because the Jews had just decimated Egypt. Egypt was the strongest country in the world, and Amalek was not afraid. Amalek so total self-sacrifice to kill the Jews. Even one Jew, they're willing to die in order to kill the Jews. Korcha b'derech. Another explanation in Hasidus is korcha b'derech from the language of kar, that Amalek is a power inside of us that makes us cold to Judaism. But Rambam says asher korcha, the Rashi, korcha b'derech is lashon mikre, like by accident. In other words, they just happened to come, and as soon as they saw the Jews, they attacked them. Another meaning is that they make the Jews think that God does not control everything. Everything is just mikra, it's just happened. Another word is keri, v'tumat. Keri means like a nocturnal emission, something impure. That he would rape the Jews, that he would rape them. The men would rape the men. Davar acher, another, that was what he would do to us. Davar another says kor v'chom. He would cool us off. He would cool us off. All of the nations were afraid of the Jews, and he came along and he cooled off all the nations. What's it like if there's a big hot bath and everyone's afraid to go into it, and there comes one fool and he jumps into the bath. So after that, everybody says, well, it's really hot, but you see somebody jumped in. So that's what he did. Korcha, that he cooled off the fear of the non-Jews to the Jews. He let it be known that the Jews are not something special. They can be attacked. It says, Makat Zanav. What did he do? He would cut off the circumcisions of the Jews and he would throw them toward heaven. It says, Zanav, the tail. The people that didn't have any power, that they were, or the people that had, the Jews that had done sins, that the cloud of glory, it says, evicted them. You were all, the Jews were tired, etc. They were tired. When they didn't have any power to fight, that's when Amalek comes and he strikes against the Jews. Here he says, Asher korcha baderech, that's the language of sorry. Sorry means to castrate. Vizanev, that's the gematria, ze milah. This is the circumcision. Oh, this is the gematria of ze yashivto shel Dan, that the Dan was the last of the tribes to travel, and Amalek, anyone who fell behind a little bit, as Amalek would come and attack them. When God deals with all of your enemies, this is talking about the days of the Mashiach Mesaviv, or it's Asher Hashem Elokecha Noten Lecha Nachala Levishta. As soon as God gets rid of all your other enemies, then Timcha et Zecher Amalek, you have to wipe out any memory of Amalek. Amalek Me'ish Vad Isha, man, woman, children, even babies, either animals. Shalo Yeshem Amalek, the name of Amalek should not be called on anything, not even on the animals, to say, oh, this was a cow that belonged to Amalek. Why do that? Because Amalek, he was not making a war against the Jewish people. He was making a war against God. And so therefore we have to, the fact that God can create, of course God is creating him. The fact that God can create such a strange thing like this, on one hand shows the infinite greatness of Hashem, but on the other hand, we have to work hard in order to get rid of it. We have to do a battle, a big battle against ourselves, against the coldness that Amalek puts into us in opposition to the Creator. And God gives us power to do it. It says in the Torah that we can do it, so we can do it. We see, I mean, it's very incredible to me today. There's people, once in a while you get these people and they say, Hitler was right, Hitler was good, I don't understand how you can say a thing like that. Okay, let's say you don't like the Jews. Okay, but Hitler killed 50 million people. Let's take off the 6 million Jews, right? So Hitler killed 44 million people, at least. That's just the ones he killed, not the ones that he maimed and people's lives he ruined. And every person that he killed, they had relatives. So here's this man, and how many Germans did he kill? I don't remember. I looked it up somewhere, 7 million Germans or something. So here's this one man that caused so much pain and destruction and bloodshed and for absolutely no reason. How could anybody praise a thing like that? It's just beyond me. You don't like Jews, okay? So say talk about the Jews. How do you throw Hitler into the thing? Do you think? I mean, he showed that the reason that he hated Jews was because he just hated life. And the German people thought he was like Superman. He was just, he had the courage to stand up and tell things like they were, and to not be afraid. And we're going to have a big Germany and things like that. It's just totally beyond me. Anyway, this is Amalek. Amalek, he wants to destroy the world. Now let us go to the Haftorah of this week. Right? We take a short break. This week's Haftorah. Should I stop it? Nah. Let's just go on. Haftorah this week. Let's stop.